new challenger approaching.
Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to our presentation. I'm Mateo.
I'm Jamie.
Arif, with a really bad cough and a bad throat.
Alright.
Now, throughout the history of gaming, there have been many games, many fighting games. But one that strikes the hearts of many in the community of gaming is Super Smash Bros. Small. And welcome to the History Corner with a wee. Woo. To start off with, this game is a game by Nintendo. It's a crossover game including many of Nintendo's original games. The developers are as listed: HAL Laboratory, Game Arts, Sora Limited, and Bandai Namco as of the years posted. The creator is Masahiro Sakurai, our daddy. Originally, the game was meant to be called Dragon King the Fighting Game. It was a game that was going to be, going up against the big names, Street Fighter and Tekken. But they changed it to Super Smash Bros. With all these different characters from Nintendo and managed to get the approval of Nintendo as well as Satoru Iwata. And it started off kind of as a side project, but moved on to having this theme of no violence, but more for a home setting, for families to gather around, and beat each other up without the coat hanger.
Oh.
Next, let's move on to the first rendition of Super Smash Bros. We have Super Smash Bros. For the 64, released worldwide after selling 1 million in Japan. The roster is, as you see, I'm too tired to list them all out. We have 4-player multiplayer. We have 9 stages, 8 of the with the 8 characters available, and then the Mushroom Kingdom to give a very nice vibe. Then we have various mini games like Smash Home Run and Break the Target, and 5.55 million units were sold worldwide. Then we have Melee. Arguably, everybody loves this because it has a faster pace, but no, I hate it. Thank you very much. Moving on. It was released in the GameCube in 2001 for Japan and America, and then the new modes were provided: the Adventure and All-Star Tournament and Special. 7 million copies were sold. 26 characters with 29 stages. This is arguably like the biggest revamp in the Smash series. I'll get to the better revamps later. And then trophies and items were added to give a bit more aesthetic feel, as well as an orchestra. An orchestra was added. Da-da-da! And then, Okay, let's move on, because I was clearly too high for that. Anyways, we have our next rendition for the Wii, the Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Arguably, I love this a lot because they added Snake, my boy. Now, it was released worldwide in 2008. You can now change controls on any controller. You have 4 different types of controllers too. And guess what? Online play. You can play with anybody in the world. Single player, Subspace Emissary. I love the story. The music was beautiful. You have now 39 characters and 41 stages with 13.27 million units sold worldwide. This is the most on any one unit for now. Then we have Super Smash Bros. 4, came out on the 3DS first and then on the Wii U later. We have, give me a second, released 2014. We have a whopping 58 characters with 9.30 million sold on the 3DS and 5.34 million on the Wii U. Now, I've given you a brief overview on everything, but we have another challenger approaching. I present to you our one and only.
Me, your iHouse champion, Brian Shaw. Thank you very much, a wee woo. Smash Bros. Has been around for a very long time, since probably most of us have, it's probably grown with us throughout our entire lifetime so far. Despite being the 5th entry, let's see before we go into Ultimate, let's see what the series is best known for mechanically at a gameplay level. So, because Super Smash Bros. Is a non-traditional fighting game, it has a lot of key mechanical changes to help it distinguish it. For one of them is simplified controls. Instead of having to do quarter circles or Z motions, half circles, back, forward, up, downs, X's, you only need to press one direction and one of the two attack buttons. Easy. You spend more time just learning how to use each move. I mean, more time learning on each move, and less time spending trying to learn how to type on a typewriter on your controller. You can also have free movement. Your character is not locked onto facing a character at all times, so you can run back, forward, jump up and down as much as you want. It doesn't use health. Instead, you just knock people off the stage as hard as you can. However, you're not instantly out if you get knocked up. You can try to recover, or essentially get yourself back onto the stage. So, because of that, it gives a lot of room for error. And when all of these are put together, it creates a gameplay flow that appeals to both casual players and competitive players. I would also like to add that Smash Bros. Usually has items. So think of them as chairs or baseball bats thrown into a WWE cage match. You just pick them up and then you just bash the other guy, whether, with no disregard for their personal safety. So what does Ultimate bring to the table? All right, so in literally the biggest crossover ever in video game history, every character is back. Yes, I mean it. Even the ice climbers. I honestly didn't miss in the last game. That's a personal bias. So, story mode has returned in the form of World of Light, an adventure mode where some sinister force has killed every character in the game except Kirby, because everyone loves him so much. And
that's why we're talking about Kirby. Kirby: Return of the Light. The Kirby game now.
So, in World of Light, not only do you fight the sinister force, but you also recruit something called spirits along the way. Spirits are essentially characters that have been killed by the sinister force from the various franchises our beloved characters are from. And now, when you rescue them, you can implement them into your fighters to boost their abilities. You can now pick up to 2 stages with the new stage morph mechanic that allows you to basically change the stage on the middle of a battle. So you could be falling off the stage, all of a sudden it changes to a no falling stage and you're safe again. Voila! Some more under the hood stuff include directional air dodging, perfect shield-like parrying, and dash canceling. Now, I guess the more casual players probably won't really utilize it, but for someone much more competitive like myself, I really appreciate it because it makes the game much faster. And when it's faster, you can kill faster. So I think that promotes a healthy... But it's still slow enough that if you don't really like fast pace, it can be enjoyed at a reasonable pace. And now, it is time for me to leave, and we will have our next presenter.
Hello everyone. Today I will be talking about the competition. What does Smash Bros. Have to deal with? What are the other fighting games out there? Here are some examples that I put on the board. Street Fighter, Tekken, you guys know them, you guys love them. And the first things that we'll be talking about is the mechanics. These fighting games usually work within these 3 types of perspectives, 2D, 2.5D, and 3D. I'm going to group 2D and 2.5D together because mechanically they are similar. The player still sees the characters on a profile view and they can move back, forward, up, and down. But in 2.5D, the characters are 3D modeled, so it kind of gives it a different style, as you can see. Different from this, however, is 3D. In 3D, as you can probably guess, you can move left and right. So the camera in this case is locked in a third-person perspective, making the game more dynamic, but also can be a bit cluttered at times, depends. Personally, I like 2D and 2.5D a little better. Next up is the defense and attack systems. Like many other games, they use rock, paper, scissors kind of balancing when it comes to this. An example that I'm going to use is Street Fighter. In Street Fighter, you can either attack or block. You can attack at high, mid, or low, and you can block at high, mid, or low, or sorry, high or low. When you block, the attack doesn't register. You don't take damage. However, to balance this, you can use special moves to make the opponent take chip damage, eventually killing him. So you can't just be a coward and like hide and block the whole game. And you know, Smash of course implements this as well with blocking, blocking, dodging, and grabbing. However, these greedy companies need their money. So nobody would make as many fighting games if they weren't profitable. The most profitable series is Street Fighter with 41 million. However, I don't know if that's still accurate considering Ultimate just came out. And that results in about a bit above 1.6 billion in sales. And the fighting games are still being released. The market is not dead whatsoever. Injustice 2 is a more recent, the Injustice series is a more recent fighting series, very popular. And Absolver is another good example, which is an indie fighting game that had a small team and still managed to pull approximately 6 million in sales. Which brings me to marketing. So many games tend to take a different approach to this, as you can see. In a game like Mortal Kombat, they try to pander to a more mature audience. This loop is going to get really annoying. They tend to pander to a more mature audience, while Smash tries to keep it more family friendly. However, they still, while the game is easy to pick up, it still has enough depth for those more seasoned gamers to come in and have fun. Which takes me to the culmination of all this, in my opinion, which is EVO. EVO is a championship series where all these great gamers from all sorts of different fighting games come together and have a big tournament. Each fighting game has their own category, and it comes not only as a culmination of all these pro players, but also their communities. Which smooth transition. Take it away, Jamie.
So we've learned a lot about the history, the game, and even its competitors, but we don't really understand about the fans and the community it's built. So like what we've said, the competitive scene in Smash wasn't supposed to actually exist, mainly because it was supposed to be a family-friendly game, a party game, kind of like Mario Party, except people took it a bit too far. So this brings me to the idea of the competitive scene. It started in 2002 with the first official Smash tournament. It was Tournament Go made by Matt Deasy, and it was with Smash Melee that began it. With how fast-paced it was, how technical it was compared to its predecessor Smash 64, and so much more, it became a really big game for us. Matt Deasy started it in his house, with people sleeping on the floor, people just having fun, getting prizes, money. And from that, it paved a way into the entire tournament scene. And things started picking up steam, and the golden age of Melee started from 2003 to 2006. I could go a lot more in depth to this, but there is a Smash Brothers documentary that's 4 hours long about the entire